Hello, and welcome to FinInvest Niger. My name is Tom Princewill. I'm a certified securities and investment specialist. I've been investing in the Nigerian stock market for the past 2 decades, for the past 20 years. And I would like to talk about the fundamental analysis of BUA Cement Plc. We want to see how we could analyze the fundamentals from this company, this cement company. We want to carry out, a fundamental analysis of the company's financial statements. It's a company in the building material sector of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and it's a very big player in this. So let's see precisely whether this company could be a better candidate for our portfolio or not. We want to start with the company's revenue. As you could see on the board there, the company had a 34.5% increase in revenue, 34.5% increase in revenue from 876.47 billion, 876.40 billion to 1.179 trillion to 1.179 trillion. All right, representing told us earlier, 34.5% increase in revenue generated. We now want to consider the company's gross profits. The gross profit level actually grew. It grew tremendously. It grew, remarkably, by a percentage, increase of about 101.2%. 101.2% is that's doubling in gross profit from 300.266 billion, 300.266 billion to 604.182 billion, 604.182 billion. That is the increase in the level of gross profit. Then for the company's operating profit, the cement company, BUA Cement, had a fantastic growth in its operating profits, recording a percentage increase of 249.6%, 249.6%, from 144.304 billion, 144.304 billion to 505.554 billion, 505.554 billion naira. Okay, we still have another remarkable, level of growth here, and that is at 367%, more than doubled, 367% in growth from 99.630 billion, 99.630 billion to as high as 465.276 billion, 465.276 billion. You could observe this profound level of growth in profit before tax. Then for the profit, after tax, the profit after tax, segment, the company generated an increase of a percentage increase of 381.7%. 381.7% is also a tremendous level of increase from 73.909 billion, 73.909 billion to 356.038 billion, 356.038 billion naira, is the recorded increment in the profit after tax. Then for the total comprehensive income, all right, it recorded the highest level of increment, so far, which is represents, a percentage increase of 397.9%, 397.9% from 71.0 71.053 billion, 71.053 billion to as high as 353.773 billion, 353.773 billion naira. Now, we want to examine the company's earnings per share. This is what determines price increase, share price increase, and this is what equally determines the level of dividends the company could pay out. And so there was a 382.1% increase in earnings per share from 2 naira 80 kubo to 10 naira 51 kubo. From 2 naira 80 kubo to 10 naira 51 kubo. Okay, look at the level of increase here, 382.1%. Now, for the company share price, the company, records a current share price of 2 naira 19 kubo, 2 naira 19 kubo as against 143 naira 20 kubo, 143 naira 20 kubo, representing an increase of 52.9%, 52.9%, from the year 2024 to the year 2025. All right, so far so good. I'm so impressed by the company's, increment in all these parameters we've just highlighted. So I think we are through with this segment of our analysis. This segment comprises the company's profit and loss statements. We now want to also consider the company's cash flow statement as well as the balance sheets. Now, this is the company shares outstanding. The shares outstanding here is at 33.86 billion. 33.86 billion is the number of shares outstanding. And the company has a market capitalization of 7.42 trillion. 7.42 trillion naira. And how do you arrive at this particular figure? Is by multiplying the number of shares outstanding, 33.86 billion, by the current share price, which is 219 naira. That will give you the market capitalization. This tells you how big the company is. For a market cap of about 7 billion, it's a very, very big company. Although Dangote Cement is about approximately 14 billion. So it's twice the size of BUA Cement. All right, that's why even the earnings per share for Dangote is bigger than this. All right, bigger than the earnings per share for BUA Cement. All right, but the growth rate for BUA Cement is 382.1%, whereas Dangote Cement is about 101.3%. So this one has a higher growth rate, but a smaller level of earnings per share. That's by the way. So we want to consider the company's equity. The equity here, or the shareholder fund, is essentially the subtraction or the difference between the company's total assets and its total liability. All right. And so the total assets from its total liabilities, if you subtract them, you're going to get 1.856 trillion naira. 1.856 trillion naira is the equity of the shareholder fund. We now want to consider the equity per shares. Okay, the equity per share simply means you dividing the equity all over the number of shares outstanding. So this particular figure on its own may not really tell much. It's the company's book value. So essentially, you divide this or you subtract this from the share price. So once you do that, the larger the result of the subtraction, the more expensive the company is, and the lower the value of the subtraction, the less expensive the company is. It is here for the essence of carrying out what is called net investing. Net investing strategy is a strategy where you buy a company that is selling at below book value. This is a book value 50 naira 36 kobo. If you're selling for less than that, that company is considered very cheap. So you are expected to go ahead and buy it. In this case, it's higher than this, but it's not all that very expensive, as you could see. So the cash flow here, the cash at hand, the cash equivalent and cash in the bank actually amounted to 280.4. 280.4. This should be billion. and it shouldn't be trillion. This is a billion, 280.4 billion. 280.4 billion. It cannot be, the cash position cannot be cannot be trillion. So 280.4 billion naira is the company's cash equivalent, cash in the bank, and cash at hand actually. And then for the company's PE ratio, the PE ratio here essentially is the ratio. When you divide two numbers, the outcome is called a ratio. The ratio of the price to the earnings. The price here is 219 naira, and the earning is 10 naira 51 kubo. By the time you divide 219 naira by 10 naira 51 kubo, we are going to arrive at 20 naira at 20.83. 20.83. That's the PE ratio. And this particular figure is telling us about how expensive or how cheap the company is. So generally, you compare this figure with other companies in the same sector. All right. For the cement industry now, you could compare this one with Dangote Cement. You could compare it with Lafarge Wabco. It's a cement company as well. So this is 20.83 for BUA Cement. Dangote Cement is 13.53. This one essentially is more expensive than Dangote Cement. That's the essence of this comparison. And you can also make comparison within the entire outside outside the sector. You consider the overall market also. This company is somewhat, it's not all that cheap compared to Dangote and probably Lafarge Wabco. Okay, so when it comes to my recommendation, actually the entire exercise we've carried out so far is for academic purpose, and it's merely for entertainment. But I think I should round up by making a recommendation. The company actually is good. Look at the level of growth, very very important. Look at growth in all the parameters. It recorded, triple digit growth. This double digit, the other ones are triple digit growth. So more importantly, this is what you consider the growth, not just the company making profit, but what is the growth in the profit level. So the company has recorded growth in all these parameters, and that's why I will consider it for investment. You could allocate maybe 5% of your portfolio to this particular company, and I think it's okay, it's in order. All right. It's actually in order. The company is doing quite well and will continue to do well, I believe, in the near and distant future. Please, if you're a new investor, maybe an experienced investor, and your portfolio is performing poorly, the market is generating 50%, 50.1% last year, and your own portfolio is generating 30%, 25%. Something is wrong somewhere. You need a kind of assistance. You need guidance. That's where my service comes in. I offer portfolio management, as service to interested clients who have the capital and they want to invest, but may not really have sufficient prerequisite skill and experience. So I come in to help out by, recommending what ought to be bought and also monitoring the portfolio all through, as the case may be. So if you're interested in that service, you could contact me. Let's see how you can come and breathe life and pump life and vigor and vitality into your portfolio that could be considered almost like dormant. It's not yielding as expected. Please contact me so you can see how you can revive your portfolio and make it what it ought to be. Just buying stock haphazardly without clear guidance. I was like that many years back. That's why I'm more concerned about guiding people to be able to get the best from their portfolio. If you are interested, please, we all know that patients need doctor, and your car needs a mechanic. All right, you have a court case, you need a lawyer. When it comes to investing, you want to do it yourself. That's why you've been having problem all this while. You want to do it yourself. It's okay. You have the right to, but the result would not be all that commendable, would not be all that palatable. Please contact me so I can see how I can come in and help out to better arrange your portfolio for you so you could generate better returns on your investment. Please like and subscribe to this like this video and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to press the notification button, and you could also drop a comment relevant constructively, constructive criticism when it comes to the comment section. It will be of tremendous help to me to move this channel forward. And please, I want to also thank you for watching, and I am also appealing that you keep on watching other videos as well. Send it to people in your community so you can reach out to at least a million Nigerians with the investment message to Nigerians home and abroad. They need to hear this, to know this, so they can come and invest in the Nigerian Stock Exchange and benefit from the inherent wealth creation activities we have in the Nigerian stock market. Thank you very much for watching.